All right, welcome to another amazing video in here I will teach you how to master macros in Excel. If you ever wanted to learn about macros the most easiest, simplest, but the fastest way, this video is right for you. And in case you don't know what the hell is macros, we will go over all that. And if you're a beginner, this video is right for you. If you're advanced, you are also going to pick up a couple of things in here as well that's going to help you out in your project. So first of all, let's see, what is macros? Macros are repeated actions taken over and over and over in which you say to yourself, why the hell am I doing this manual way? I wish there was a way in which I push a button and Excel will do this for me. And that's exactly, in a layman's term, my term, what macros are. So for example, I will go to a sheet that I created in here where it has name, email, and country. And by the way, these are all hypothetical, fake data. Nothing is real about that. So let's say if I want to create a macro in which it's going to freeze everything from row 1 and below and put a filter next to it on row 1. So if I were to do this manually, I would go to view, I would go to freeze, and then freeze this panel, right? And then anytime I scroll, the first row will be frozen. And then I want to add a filter. I will go to data, filter, and the filter will be added. And then I can scroll through all the different things that I want to filter. Next, it will be that if I don't want to do this manually, I just want to push a button and maybe 1 to 2 seconds, it'll be done, right? So let's undo this. So I'll take out the filter, take out the unfreeze thing, and then this is going to be back to where we started. So in case you didn't realize it, let's go to the home tab and you're like, okay, Mark, that's great. So how do I add a macro? There are two ways to do this. You can go to the view tab. There is this button right here called macros. You can click on this and record it, right? But there is another way to do that, which I will show you, which I find it to be a little more sufficient. So there is a tab called developers tab. If you don't have it showing like mine, you can right click on this ribbon, any one of these anywhere here. So let's say I'll right click here, then you want to go to customize the ribbon, and then you have this window. In case you don't see a developers tab icon right here, if you check it, it will show up in there. But if for some reason it's not here, so you go over here, go to the one that says all tabs, and then you want to scroll down here and then add it to it. But since I already added in there, so I don't need to drag it. So I'm just going to click on this, click OK, and then I will have another tab called developers. And in here, I have a little more flexibility in terms of I can record it, I can look at it, blah, 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 blah. You can also do that in here as well, these two options. But as you can see from here, I have more flexibility. So I'm just going to use that. So I want to record a macro. I could just simply go over here, record macro, and then I can give it a name. I'll just leave it as macro 2 for right now. And I can say only for this workbook, or new workbook, or I can personalize that workbook. And for the time being, I'm just going to say it's only for this particular workbook. I can give it a shortcut, which would be a control, whatever what I want to do it. But for time being, because this is very simple, we're just going to leave it at this and we'll click on OK. All right. So now it is recording. How do I know it's recording? Because over here, I have an option that says stop recording. So let's go over here. I'm going to select this particular row, go to my view, freeze panel, then go to the first row, and then I will say add a filter. Then go to my developers tab and then stop it. And then I will undo everything that I just did. So let's see how long it takes to add those two actions for me. So I'll go to filter, take that off. So there it is. So this is just a plain Jane when we first started it. So let's go to macros right here, this button under the developers tab. If for some reason this is not showing for you, you can also go from here under the view tab, under macro, and then view macros. Same concept. So I'm gonna close it from here, and then I like to open it from this side as well. So open it up, and this is the macro that is already recorded. So if I want to run it, all I have to do is select the macro I want. In this case, I only have one, but for you, once you master this, you'll be like, oh my God, you have like a whole bunch of these, right? So I'm gonna say run, and then boom, there it is. I mean, it took maybe less than a half a second, right? So it's like, wow, that was amazing. So let's take it one step further, because if that's all I'll teach you here, that'd be like, Mark, you just completely wasted my time. I could have done this, right? So let's take it one step further. So we'll go back to the home tab. So we'll record another macro, but before we do that, I'll show you what we are going to do it manually. So what I want to do is I want to copy this, then I want to paste it, this whole column in here. So here it is. And then I want to go over to my data tab. And then what I want to do is I want to say, remove all duplicates from this. Perfect. And I'm going to say for yes, this column, then it's going to delete it. So here it is. And you're like, wow, Mark, that's whatever, right? But what I also want to do is I want to add a formula that says count if count. There's a formula called count if and then we'll put a range from all of this. So in Excel, you have to put like a range. So I'll just put like 1,000 in here. I'm like, what does this mean? So what that means is this. So let's go here. There's supposed to be count. Let's go here. It's this to this. There we go. From C2, let's just say, to this. Perfect. I'm glad that happened, because when this happens to you in real life, it will happen. This particular kind of error message, just troubleshooting, right? So what does that mean, Mark? I just copy the column from here to here, and then I say, show me all number of times that this particular USA country shows up in here. So in this case, this is 9. And if I scroll all the way down, I'll copy this formula. But before I do that, let's just do this. So I will say $, $, and another $, maybe 1,000 times. And then I will just copy this, and then there it is. Right, so I'll just put this one formula right there. All right, so that way I have it. So here it is. So if I copy this down all the way, so this gives me the number of times this particular country shows up in here. So let's delete this, obviously, right? Because we want to create a macro. So we go back to our developers tab, record a macro, and I'm just gonna leave it as number 3. So we're gonna start doing this. So select this, copy, go over here, and then paste it. And then next, what we're gonna do, go back to our little this, copy it, and then go here, paste. Here it is, number 9. And then I'm just gonna bring it down all the way down. Actually, we just want to do one more step. So go over here. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, right. We need to remove the duplicates. So remove duplicates. Yes. Yes. So here it is. Perfect. Since we already got the formula. bring it down, and there it is. So let's go back to our developers tab, stop recording. I'm gonna delete this. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go to my macros. Before I do that, our macros, since we're already on the developers tab, and then I'm gonna run the macro 3, and you'll see how quickly this will do this task for me, and I don't have to repeat it. So boom, done. Like, if you don't find this powerful, then you need to watch this next video, in which I will show you how you can use Visual Basics to create advanced macros that will help you out in your Excel projects. So if you like this kind of video, do consider subscribing, because I create a lot of amazing videos that will help you speed up your process. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time.